I was going to do a video today talking about Bobby Green. I was going to do a video talking about Conor McGregor. And then last night I'm flicking around on social media and I see Sean Strickland telling people to
get back in the kitchen.
And I thought to myself, okay, I've got to talk about that, right?
Just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in.
So yeah, this Ian Garry situation is just not going away. We have fighter after fighter now coming out, getting on board the bandwagon and calling him out for his behaviour, for his unprofessional behaviour on the mats, and so on, so on. The list is getting longer and longer as we go. And Sean Strickland, out of nowhere, this isn't me unearthing a new video today to talk about Ian Garry because I'm getting good views. Literally, the most interesting story coming up into this UFC fight card in Austin is Sean Strickland calling out Ian Garry, is the fighter that are partaking in this weekend's bouts talking about Ian Garry. It has to be covered. Let's have a little look at Sean Strickland's tweets because the guy is crazy. So we can see that 18 hours ago he was talking about Conor McGregor. It is a big news story. It's a spicy news story over here on this side of the pond, especially with the fact that if I talk about it, the guards will come and kick in my door. So I gotta be careful with that. The video that I made about Conor McGregor last week did great. Did absolutely great. Got shared by Keith Woods over on Twitter. Went through the roof over there. Of course it was demonetized and reported and age restricted after one day of getting into the sphere. That's what people do. When you start to upset their narrative, these people are walking around addicted to social media, flicking on Instagram, watching Love Island, all that sort of trash, and it's so easy for their malleable minds to be infiltrated by the mainstream media that when an event happens like it happened here in Ireland last week where 3 young children were hurt badly by someone who shouldn't have been here, and someone with a loud voice like Conor McGregor says that exact sentiment, then he must be taken down. He's under investigation. They're going to go after him. I could make a full video on that subject, but as I said, it's a spicy one and my channel has been under attack. So Sean was talking about it yesterday, but then we see he jumps straight over here randomly and says that Ian Garry's wife is a sexual predator. She sought out a young athlete to seduce because she was getting old and she still wanted to be famous. Nobody of fame wanted you, so you preyed on a kid. You are and will forever be known as a succubus. Right out of nowhere, Sean Strickland comes in with that banger and you're going, okay, that's gotta have repercussions. He didn't stop there. I want to be clear. I didn't bring Ian's predator into this conversation. He did. When he let her design that shirt for Geoff Neal's mugshot, you did. Be a man, shut her up, put her in the kitchen, act like a bitch and get treated like a bitch. What can you actually say to that except for correct? He followed that up with, there's a video of it somewhere with her standing next to him like a predator, giggling at her like a little girl. Someone send me that video, please. And I have the video here. And he said, yep, Succubus doing her demon work. I don't know how the MMA community let this bullshit slide. Well, I have a theory on why the MMA community let this slide. Because the MMA media are shills and they don't want to point out this stuff. They want everything to be all rainbows and unicorns. And it's not that. People see this behavior, they point it out, they don't like it, and they have a problem with it. And everyone should have had a problem from the jump on this situation. Let's have a little look at this.
There are rights on mugshots, are there?
It's your guys' idea. I just fall in love with it. Like, sweet. I mean, that's genius. That one.
Yeah,
I like this one.
Like this, no bigger. And I'd love to have a little bit of writing outside of the photo as well.
I think that looks funny as fuck.
You in?
Yeah.
That's a disgusting video and refutes all the defamation that was thrown around in the last week in terms of people saying that she is a controller. She's sitting there, hand on the mouth going, that's brilliant, yeah. So we had Ian Garry sitting there. This whole scenario of the mugshot was orchestrated by his wife. They decided in their wisdom to use someone's past discretions, something that they have done in the past, and use it for monetary gain because they went and they sold that t-shirt, and they also used it to attack his character for no reason. And what did they do? They laughed about it. They sneered and jeered at this man because they created his mugshot.
How's it going, man? Good to see you guys again.
It's fucking awesome. Oh my dear Jesus Christ, here. It's so good. We are disruptive as fuck. He's gonna hate us. We're at the
We are disruptive as fuck and he is gonna hate us, Ian Garry said there to his wife whilst they sneered and laughed at the fact that they had just made this t-shirt of Geoff Neal. The MMA media and the community in general kinda laughed along with it. I wasn't laughing. You can go back and watch my videos all the way back there. I wasn't laughing at this. I thought it was disgusting and I called it out. Can you imagine the mindset from Ian Garry and his wife/manager to go live on their Instagrams last weekend and attack content creators who were speaking about stuff that they had done in their past? They didn't find it funny, they didn't find it disruptive. They actually went after people legally, including myself. When the shoe was on the other foot with the Geoff Neal situation or the Neil Magny situation, where he defamed that man for a full week, wouldn't allow him to speak during a press conference, him and his wife laughed. They laughed. They thought it was so funny. And remember, she's behind his content and his social media and the persona that we see on camera. That's all his wife.
She is the brains behind absolutely everything I do.
So they're disruptive and they're happy at the fact that people are going to hate them for pointing out what they had done in the past, like Geoff Neal. But they're not very happy when it happens to them. There's rules for thee but not for me situation. Absolutely disgusting. And Sean Strickland called it out last night. And there it is. It's on the internet. It wasn't scrubbed from the internet. Nothing that these two lads have done will be scrubbed from the internet. Let me tell you, people are dragging shit up left, right and centre. My inbox on Instagram and Twitter are full with bits and pieces that I can't really post. I can't put them out there. They're too risky. He follows that up with fucking this word, which gets me demonetized, made his Twitter private. Y'all bullied him too much. First of all, there was no bullying. And if there was any, it was coming from a UFC fighter and his celebrity wife onto small content creators, if we really want to go down the route of talking about bullying. Chael put out a video yesterday asking the question, what is Ian Garry supposed to do? And it's a very, very valid question. What is he supposed to do? So there's 2 or 3 different trains of thought here. You can think of what can he do to possibly salvage himself. You can think of what will he do and what will his orchestrators allow him to do. And if we actually think about it in terms of a redemption story, if Ian Garry got to the press conference and you have Colby Covington, Leon Edwards, Paddy Pimblett, Tony Ferguson, they're all up on the stage and they're chatting. If he grabs that mic and says, listen, Sean Strickland is right. I gotta put that bitch back into the kitchen. She's no longer in control of my social media. She's no longer the smartest person I know, the most intelligent person that I know, the person who understands content creation and understands what the public want, because that's what he said, right? She's no longer all of that. She's actually brutal at managing my career, at my PR, at my marketing, so she's getting fired. She's still going to be my wife, she's just going to be at home making sandwiches and shit like that. That would be a great redemption arc for Ian Garry. You'd almost get behind him going into this Vicente Luque fight, but not really, because Vicente Luque is a nice guy and he's not. But I think it would go a long way, especially within the MMA community, given the fact that the majority of fans that watch this stuff are based anyway. They're being gaslit on a daily basis from all the media outlets and the ex-fighters that are terrified. They're terrified to talk about this scenario. You saw Michael Bisping. His wife was super based. She was willing to tell the truth. Bisping's wife was like, this girl wants to be talked about. She called it out and he was having a meltdown. But I understand as well in terms of he doesn't want to get his channel hit with defamation claims. He doesn't want to get removed from his job in the UFC because he's talking gossip about a UFC fighter. So I understand all of that. He still didn't want to talk about it, and I understand it, and the best of luck to him. But his wife was based. She was red pill as hell and she called it out. Boom. You'd love to see more of that from people. And I think it will happen because Sean Brady, Brendan Allen, even Brendan Schaub went in hard on him the other day. And I actually thought it was funny. So to answer Chael's question, that's what I think Ian Garry should do to get his career back on track. But what is he going to do to get the fan base back on his side? He's not going to do any of what I outlined earlier. So that leaves us with option 2/3, where he refuses to talk about it, doesn't bring it up, completely ignores it, which will have a knock-on effect with the fans because they're going to boo the fuck out of him when he gets up on them stages. When he makes it to the octagon, he's going to be booed so hard. He does address it and he actually doubles down and says, not only is she the smartest, she's the triple smartest person that I've ever had in my life, and everything she's done has made my career brilliant. Maybe he says that. Maybe the MMA community turn against him even more. Regardless of all that, it's going to be beyond interesting coming into fight week UFC 296. If we're making videos now talking about Brendan Allen, Sean Brady calling out Ian Garry for his behaviour. Imagine the barrage of videos when we have Paddy Pimblett, Tony Ferguson and Colby Covington going hard after him on fight week. I'm looking forward to it. I'm interested to see what you think in terms of how can he turn this around? What should he do to turn this around? So I'm looking forward to see what you say on that. And as I said, let me know your thoughts down below. Hit like, subscribe, share. I appreciate you. Cheers.